Hi, I'm Stephanie Faust, and I am a second grade teacher at Eastridge Elementary in Warren Township. And I really got into the learning strategies for many different reasons, which I'm going to talk about. And I wanted um, the kids to really become self-reliant by owning their learning strategies and putting them into action. So these are actually students from last year. So first, the why. I was very frustrated seeing students go through the motions of learning with no deeper understanding. When the students were struggling, they did one or all of the following things. They either didn't care, so they didn't really understand that they were struggling with something, or they were just clicking or writing down answers. There was no depth of understanding. They got frustrated when something was challenging and they gave up. Or they sat until I became available for them, which means that they were wasting a lot of time. They had no other strategies. I feel like I would verbally tell them things a lot, but I never had any direct instruction with how to regulate their own learning. So what are self-regulated learners? The learning strategies will help the students to regulate their own learning. They are the ones in charge of their own progress. And a lady named Mary Dean Barringer, she wrote a book called All Kinds of Minds. She said self-regulated learners are attentive, focused, and productive. They set goals for themselves and use a planned approach to learning. Self-regulated learners keep track of their understanding and their progress and reward themselves for their successes. They use problem-solving strategies and memory techniques when appropriate. They learn to think critically about the demands of the task at hand and the availability of time, resources, etc. In short, self-regulated learners are intentional, active, and reflective. So what would help my students become self-regulated learners? And Warren's personalized learning rubric when we were, trying to develop, and we still are trying to develop those personalized learning skills. Under reflection, it had the term learning strategies. And we weren't really too sure what the learning strategies were, so we started doing research, and self-regulation kept, popping up. So we thought, well, learning strategies would equip the students with strategies to ensure they were making progress. The students will understand the process of their learning and the strategies they need to use to ensure their progress. So these were just tools in their tool belt to help them when problems arise, and it would help them understand their learning a whole lot better. So our goals for this part of the playlist, the parts that I'm going to be talking about, the learning strategies will help my students self-regulate, meaning that they're going to understand when they're struggling, and they're going to have strategies and tools to overcome these struggles. And then they're going to take ownership of their work. They're going to feel proud when they overcome their struggles, and they're going to celebrate this. Those are two things I'm going to be talking about. We're going to be watching videos of my students from last year learning these learning strategies and applying and using these learning strategies. We're also going to talk, I'm also going to talk about different tracking forms of a way for them to track their progress and to ensure that they were using those learning strategies to overcome struggles.